Right now, it seems like half the world is watching Odysseus cross the screen. Christopher Nolan's film is out, it's enormous, and it's stunning to see. But here's the thing a movie can't quite give you. The Odyssey comes from a performance tradition. Long before it became a poem for silent readers, it was something audiences heard performed aloud. It was made to be heard. Sung out loud, 3,000 years ago, to a room full of people who caught things with their ears that we walk right past on the page. And in one single line of that poem, I'm convinced those listeners heard something we've overlooked. They heard the hero's name quietly turn into the setting sun. Let me show you. Odysseus has finished telling the Phaeacians the story of his wanderings. They sleep, and the following day his hosts prepare his ship and hold one final feast. But Odysseus can think of only one thing: going home. He keeps turning his head toward the sky, watching the sun, silently begging it to go down so he can finally sail. And the poet reaches for this beautifully ordinary image. He compares Odysseus to a farmer, a plowman who has driven his 2 oxen across unbroken ground all day, worn out, longing for the sun to set so he can stop and go eat his dinner. Hold on to one thing here. This whole passage is soaked in the sun going down. Now listen closely, because this is the heart of it. What follows is one scholarly reconstruction of the ancient pronunciation, not a recording from antiquity. In the lines leading up to the moment, the poet gives us the same rounded sound 3 times. Do nigh, kate do, do, setting, sank, sank. It is a drum beat, teaching the ear what to expect. 2 lines before the end, the poem says, "Welcome to him sank the light of the sun." Him meaning the exhausted plowman. Then the sentence returns, but this time Odysseus's name replaces "to him." Welcome to Odysseus sank the light of the sun. In Greek, the form of his name is Odyssey, and now we hear Odyssey, as past ton, do. The vowels are not identical in length. The one inside the name is short, the verbs hold it longer. So this is not an exact rhyme, it is a prepared near chime. I am not saying that Odysseus's name etymologically means sunset. I am saying that the poet spent 8 lines tuning the audience's ear and then sounded the hero's name against the setting sun. But why? Why would a poet want the hero's name to set like the sun? Here's where a scholar named Nanomarinatos completely reframed this poem for me. She argued that Odysseus embarks on a cosmic journey like the sun's daily path across the sky, also similar to the daily journey of the Egyptian sun god Ra. Think about it. Odysseus travels to the western edge of the earth, down into darkness, into the land of the dead, and then back up into light, toward dawn, in the east at Circe's island. He follows the path of the sun. And going back decades earlier, another scholar, Douglas Frame, showed that the Greek word for homecoming itself, nostos, carries the sense of returning to light and life, like the sun at daybreak, and Odysseus from the underworld to light and life. So the sun setting on his name and the sunrise of his homecoming are the same single idea. Now maybe you're thinking, anyone can go hunting for rhymes. Why trust this one? Because the Odyssey plays this game with his name over and over. The most famous example, trapped in the cave of the one-eyed Cyclops, Odysseus says his name is Nobody. And the whole escape turns on that pun, a trick the audience is meant to catch. The poem even argues with itself about where his name really comes from. So this playfulness isn't something I invented. It's a habit the poem trains you to listen for. And once you know the game is being played, that line about the setting sun stops looking like an accident. It starts looking aimed. So look what the poet did. Of every line he could have chosen, he placed this one right at the seam, the exact moment the fairy tale wanderings end and the journey home begins. And there, he let the hero's name go under with the sun. down into the dark, and then, like the sun always does, back up into the light of home. He sails after sunset, reaches Ithaca as dawn approaches, and is laid on his own shore still asleep. He has gone down with the sun and returned with the light. The whole shape of the story folded into a single sound. Nolan can show you the sirens and the storms in glorious detail, and you should go see it. But this part? You can't watch it. You can only hear it.